Hello cadets, I'm Tanya Turing, host of The Roundup, where we get the latest and greatest blockchain news for you. Tonight, Bitcoin BIP91, myetherwallet scams, and one of the biggest Ethereum heists of the year. It's the Wild West out there, and we're here to make sense of it all. First up, myetherwallet scams. It's phishing scams galore. We have people receiving private messages from Slack, Reddit, GitHub, and Stack Exchange telling them there has been errors with Ethereums. Scammers are using domains to look very much like the authentic URL, but are changing one letter, like myetherwallet.com, it's missing the E, or linking to fake domains like myetherwallet.de. The problem is that people do not double-check the URL, they just instinctively click on the message from a total stranger. They then hand over their private key, and within the hour, all of their Ether is stolen. Someone even reported that all of their life savings was stolen, as seen in this comment. Scammers have even resorted to using Google Ads, so it's the first thing you see when you type My Ether Wallet. Please do not click on links from strangers. What is wrong with you? This just in, Vitalik Buterin, creator of Ethereum, has died from ingesting dangerous blowfish meat at a sushi restaurant in Toronto. It's a sad day for the crypto world. My heart goes out to his loved ones. Up next, Bitcoin BIP91 has been locked in as of Friday, July 21st. For those of you living under a digital block, a BIP stands for Bitcoin Improvement Proposal. After 2 years of debate, miners from around the world have finally banded together to signal support for segregated witness, or SegWit for short, reaching for the critical threshold of 80% miner support. BIP91 makes it possible to enable SegWit in a few months, preventing a possible split and relieving many people of their worries. Speaking of which, we have a caller right now that was so sure that Bitcoin was going to split, he took extreme measures to protect his investment. Jebediah Green, are you there, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Now, Mr. Green, talk to me. What was your ingenious plan to protect your Bitcoins?
Call me Jeb, ma'am. I actually put them under my mattress.
How were you able to get your Bitcoins under your mattress? You do know that Bitcoins are digital, right?
Well, that's the craziest thing. I bought them off a tall feller. Says they was legit. Got 30 Bitcoins for $5,000. I can hold them in my hand and everything, just like that little picture you got there. Heck, I bit them to them real quick just to make sure they was real. I mean, they smelled real nice too, like my cousin and chocolate and, good smelling things.
Jeb, darling, those aren't real Bitcoins. They sold you Ethereum Classic.
Are you serious? Oh no, I just sold my PT Cruiser for them worthless coins. Bamboozled again. If I ever find that tall fella again, I'm gonna take him to the woods, show him how to use a hatchet. Real good.
And we're out of time. Good luck to you, Jeb. Up next, we have an interview with Dr. Blockchain himself, Jason Civalleri. We'll talk to him about one of the biggest hacks of the year, where $30 million worth of Ether was stolen. But first, a quick commercial break.
Have you ever given a No? Now you can give to anyone you want with token. You can give a on Reddit with a token tip bot. It's better than Bitcoin, Ethereum, or that doggy dogo. One could be worth $1 million. So make the world a better place and give a
Welcome back. My guest today is Dr. Blockchain. Doctor, could you have saved Mr. Buterin from choking on delicious blowfish meat?
Actually, I'm not a doctor, so no.
Oh, what are you then?
Well, I'm a blockchain consultant. For the last 5 years, I've been consulting companies of all sizes, including Fortune 500s, on how to survive and thrive in the decentralized age. I'm also the ecosystem expert at ETHNews. And in my free time, I've invested my crypto earnings into law school, which I'll be finishing next year. So I've been very fortunate to help the law firm Burns Weiss on the famous Coinbase case, where we're representing Coinbase users against a what's called a John Doe summons by the IRS.
So you're a doctor. I mean, you sound like a doctor.
Well, after next year, you could call me Mr. Blockchain Esquire.
No, I like Dr. Blockchain. Moving on. So you recently wrote an article about the $30 million worth of Ether that was stolen. Tell us about that.
Well, that was really crazy. What happened was there was a vulnerability in what's called the Parity multi-signature wallet contract. And someone exploited that vulnerability and actually attacked 3 different companies and basically stole all their funds to the amount of about 30 million. Fortunately, we had a group of really benevolent coders in the community that's called the White Hat Group that was able to secure the rest of the vulnerable funds that were built on this faulty contract and return it back to their rightful owners.
What was the exploit, and what are multi-signature wallets, and why weren't they secure?
A multi-signature wallet is a way that basically you can secure funds so that it takes multiple people to sign in with their private keys and then send the funds anywhere. Basically, it's the same thing as if someone were to go into a bank and say, I want to open a bank account with this number. And if somebody already owned that bank account, they just gave it to them anyways with all the money in it, and then he could just withdraw it. And so that was kind of how the hack happened in the Parity attack.
What is the White Hat Group, and who are these benevolent creatures?
The White Hat Group is a group of developers in the Ethereum ecosystem that seem to pop up whenever there's something bad that happens and saves the whole community. In this case, they were able to scan the blockchain for all of the other vulnerable wallets and basically secure those funds, hang on to them until they were able to send them back to their rightful owners.
In your article, you mentioned a Ukrainian superhero. Was he not a part of the White Hats?
So I actually broke the news on this particular guy, but what it was there was a Ukrainian smart contract engineer for a company called AmbiSafe, and I may butcher his name, but I think it's Alexei Matyasevich. He took it upon his own initiative to scan the blockchain right after the White Hat Group had gotten through, and actually found several wallets that were still vulnerable. And so he went in on his own, secured those funds, and then contacted the White Hat Group so he could help give the money back. And it's really cool to see the Ethereum community is so strong, where, in decentralized, where people are working all over the world, are so kind-hearted and helpful towards each other that they're willing to go in and rather than steal funds for themselves, they actually help out the other Ethereum companies and help protect each other.
How long will it take the White Hat Group to give back the $80 million?
Actually, I just saw today that they've already given back 95% of it and are just waiting for a few more to come claim their funds.
Why did they only steal 30 million instead of, let's say, $1 billion?
Well, that's a really good question. Nobody is really sure, mostly because nobody knows who the attacker is. But I think a couple of the big theories, one of them is that he was doing it manually. So maybe he wasn't sophisticated enough to run a script that would allow him to attack all the wallets at once. And so as soon as the flaw was discovered, the White Hat Group actually saved the funds before he could hit any other wallets. But the theory that I kind of think is more likely was last year after what's called the DAO attack, there was a hard fork where back then so much of Ether funds was stolen by a hacker. I think it was about 12 or 13% of the entire available Ether, that it actually caused the community to go through a hard fork and basically erase that transaction. And so I think he might have been worried about that happening again. And so by only stealing $30 million, he only stole about 0.1 or maybe less than 0.1% of all Ether available, and knowing that that would be tolerable to the community and that they wouldn't hard fork it to erase that transaction.
The exploit, it seems, was due to human error. As you quoted someone saying that it was the most obvious bug in the history of Ethereum. Do you believe that we one day will no longer have blockchain attacks like this, or are we forever doomed to human error?
That's a really good question. One of the most interesting things about this blockchain space is it represents the biggest attack surface that's ever really been created online. So there's so many places for something to go wrong. And so last year we had a problem with the smart contract for the DAO. This year we had some issues with gas, which wasn't really an attack, but was a problem with the general transactions of the system. Now we had the parity attack. And I'm sure we're going to see, many more times where flaws are going to pop up just because, it's hard to code something, and it's really hard to code a smart contract. But hopefully we're going to get our standards down. We're going to get, standard audit processes and bug bounties in place that will help us find these things and make sure that eventually we do have a perfectly secure blockchain.
Doctor, what made you get into blockchain?
Well, I saw a post by my friend about driving a Lambo to the moon.
And we're out of time. Sorry. What's that? Vitalik is alive. He's alive! Oh, thank heavens. He just tweeted a proof of life picture. Cut to the picture. Thank you, Vitalik, for being safe. And thank you, Dr. Blockchain, for being here for the interview.
You bet.
Until next time, I'm Tanya Turing. Have a good night.
Hey guys, I'm Nathan. I play Captain Crypto.
And I'm Liz. I play Tanya Turing.
So thank you for watching the roundup. Please let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear your feedback. Just a quick update, we're also still working on our next video that will be all about IOTA. One last thing before you go, if you're interested in donating, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum addresses below. We also just opened up a Patreon page because we know we can make some awesome content for you guys. So, until next time, cadets, remember, HODL, long live Vitalik, and Ethereum,
I win!
Why don't we good? I